And now, good afternoon, Tuusula, or it's exactly the noon time. So we are hopefully hearing some very inspiring news about Tuusula's cultural and educational life during this time in Estonia, where culture and education is so much impacted by the COVID epidemic. How is the situation in Tuusula and in Finland?
Well, the situation is quite hard now in Tuusula because we are at the capital area, and the situation is hardest at the capital area. And Tuusula is located next to Vantaa, which is located next to our main airport. And constantly we need to work on that. And at the moment, the positive COVID numbers are the highest, even higher than last year at our region.
Let's talk now about your field, the education and cultural field in Kuuma area near Helsinki.
Yes, this presentation I'm going to give to you is about the cooperation in Kuuma region. And I'm also going to talk about the cooperation between the education field and social and health services. So is it okay for me to start?
Yes, please. We are listening.
Thank you.
Kas ma peaks midagi ütlema?
Okay, so this is the context of my presentations. First, there is me in the room, but there is also my colleague who is the Director of Education at the city of Hyvinkää. So it's two of us here, and easier for us to answer the questions after the presentations. I have been working at this area for 3 years, but my colleague has been working a bit more. So there's more knowledge coming from Pentti Halonen. So this presentation is, there is some reasons why we cooperate and why the cooperation matters. Then I'm going to tell you about the Kuuma region, and after that, the cooperation between the social and health services. But let's go on. Can you... So this is who we are. So I have been working 3 years now as the Director of Education at the city of Tuusula. And Tuusula is located about 25 kilometers north from the Helsinki. So we are at the capital area. And I have been 4 years now the chair of the board of OPSIA. And OPSIA is an association for education directors and leaders in Finland. And there are 200 members in the association. And basically all of them are managing or leading education services. And so, like I told you, in the room is also my colleague Pentti Halonen, who is the Director of Education and Culture. And Hyvinkää is quite near us. It's located 40 kilometers north from the city of Helsinki. And it has around 7,000 inhabitants more than in Tuusula. And there you can see what we are charged of. So like my colleague from Oulu, Mika Penttilä, was talking you about his field, our field is basically the same. So we are in charge of the early childhood education, high school, and also the cultural activities, such as youth services, libraries, museums, basically almost everything in the cities except the streets and the houses. And so in that way, it's a very interesting job because you are dealing with many of the services that the community offers. So there is one survey that has done in Kuntaliitto recently with the National Education Agency. And you can get further information about this survey from Pia Kolatorminen, who works at the National Finnish Agency. But the key thing about this survey is that my colleagues around the Finland are saying that they get a lot of help from their colleagues. So I guess what it tells us is that cooperation is Finland is something that we do all around Finland, because we believe that our colleagues are important and cooperation is everywhere. And why the cooperation matters? We had a nice talk with my colleagues at the Kuuma Region about this matter, and it was kind of interesting even to ourselves to have a discussions why we meet and why we do cooperations. So there should be always a purpose. There should be always a goal, what we are going to achieve together. And of course, cooperation increase the competence and attractiveness, vitality of the area. But what I do believe that is most important, that it also increase the quality of services. So we learn from each other and we work together to make the services better. So cooperation should always benefit all parties. And I think that we are stronger together. And if we go into the deeper level, then some municipalities could specialize in something and some other municipalities in different things. So in that way, we will offer a wide range of best quality services in that area. But always you need to have those goals. You have to know what you are achieving together. And what are the challenges? Like my colleague Mika Penttila told you before, sorry, we have some problems with the clicker. But what are the challenges? I go back to that. So everyone needs to contribute in cooperations. So you cannot just stay there for sake of the cooperations. You need to be part of it. Otherwise, other parties, it's going to be difficult for them. And you need to share the responsibilities. But of course, some things are more meaningful for some parties, and that's maybe the size, because some municipalities are smaller and they don't have the same services. So in that way, sometimes some things are something that others are not so interested in. But the most important thing is that the goals for the cooperation must be shared and well understood. And what has maybe been the reason why municipalities do more cooperation now than before is that the money is now given to municipalities in that way that if you will apply some extra money for development, it's easier to get it together than just one municipality. So it's easier to get those fundings with your partners. And nowadays, much of these grants and fundings are meant for cooperation work, so that they believe also in the Ministry of Education and National Education Agency that it's more influent if you want to develop something to do it so that the municipalities are building the network together and making a higher impact. And now the Kuuma region. So this is a map about the Kuuma region, and you can see that it's all around the capital area. only 4 cities, which is Helsinki, Espoo, Vantaa, and Kauniainen, are kind of in between us, and we are surrounded the capital area. So the Kuuma region consists of 10 municipalities, and here you can see the list of it. And the main purpose for this Kuuma cooperation is strengthening the competitiveness and attractiveness of the member municipalities. And altogether, we are quite big. So we have over 330,000 inhabitants together. And we believe that we are going to be even more bigger in the future because there are a lot of potential in these cities. And some background. So the municipalities exercise the highest decision-making power in the Kuuma regional cooperation. The city of Kerava is in charge, and the co-person for this area works at the city of Kerava. And the chairman is changed every calendar year. And this year, the chair city is Hyvinkää. And the board is joint body of the member municipalities. And it operates, like I said, of the Kerava city. And these are the key objectives of the Kuuma region. So, collective lobbying and marketing for the region, and all the measures and projects aim for improving the region's competitiveness and recognition and influence. And also, what I would like to add, the quality of the services. And these are the priorities for the year 2021. So, of course, like I said before, we need to defend the region during the mitigation of the effect of the coronavirus. And that's something we have really done together. We have been trying to find the solutions together. And like with my colleagues, we have been, during the last year, gathering together almost twice a week to discuss about the corona and discuss about how we handle the situation. But some other priorities for this year is participating in the drafting process of the municipality policy guidelines. And then there is environmental plan, MAL 2024. That's what we are interested together, see what sort of goals there are for our region. And protecting the region's interest during the regional government reform. We have a reform going on with the social and health services, and that's something that we are discussing all the time, how it should be done in Finland, and hope the politicians are going to finally doing the decisions, and we will move into this new world of how we handle the social and health services. But we also want to improve the region's marketing and getting a possible regional projects include in EU. And these are the cost and finance of these Kuuma regions. So the budget is not very large. There are only a few persons working for the Kuuma region. Basically, there are money in every municipality for this work. But this is the budget. And the budget is a bit smaller than it was last year. And here you can see different bodies and officials. So I'm going to next talk you about this education field, but you can see that there is Kuuma Board, and then there is Commission, and then there is a group of competitiveness and vitality group, town planning, housing, transportations, and maybe the most important for the future, the climate group. And that's something that we should really discuss in the future together, how we do with the climate change. And now, the objective of education management cooperation. So we want to provide high quality basic services in this region. And we want to do a good interface work with social and health services. And we want to handle the coronavirus situation. And then there is a development of competence and leadership, and there are several joint projects going on. And of course, we take part of education policies and statements. Like Finnish Ministry of Education many times ask us our opinion, how these things should be. And it's more influence if we make those statements together, not just one municipality, but we have a discussions and then we make our together statements. And then there is entrepreneurship education project going on. And this is the basic thing. So in a normal year without corona, we would meet approximately 5 to 6 times a year. But like I told you, in this Kuuma region, we met almost twice a month during last month. I used to be the chairman last year, and my colleague is this year. And that's nice that it doesn't have to be the same person all the time. So this chairperson changes every year and you get a new fresh perspectives. So we can meet together face to face, but also we have shared platform in Microsoft Teams, and all the stuff like notes and are shared in virtually, so we don't need any papers, and that's good. Everybody can see what we are handling and if they can participate for the meeting, they will see the notes after that. And we will make an agenda for a year. So we will have a discussions, what are the main subjects that we need to develop together. So we have a certain plan for the coming year. And these are just examples of joint projects. And right now, it's really important to develop the guidance, the student guidance and counseling, and also the development of intensive special support. And now the other part of this, cooperation with Keusote, with the social and health services. So in our region, this is a bit smaller than Kuuma region. We only have 6 municipalities together, and we have a common social and health service system, which is called Keusote. And the health and services are divided in 3 areas. So services for elderly and for the disabled, healthcare services and medical care, and mental health and addiction services and social services for adults, and services also for children, young people and families. And Keusote has been now going on for 2 years. So one was a starting year, last year was the first year, and now this is kind of a 3rd year, but in a way the 2nd year. So in some points we have done a good achievements, but still we have a lot of what we need to improve in cooperation. And these are the cooperation bodies between Keusote and municipalities. So for decision maker, there is a board of joint municipality authority and council of the joint municipality authority. And then there is a cooperation officials. So there is a group for municipality managers, financial group, health and welfare promotion, and then this group for directors of education. And these are the goals for group for education leaders. So we wanna make good service for families and for children. And our duty is to ensure timely, relevant, and cost-effective support for children, young people, and families in different needs in our area. And what is important, that we are preparing for the regional government health and social service reform. And let's see how it will look like after this year. What is the last decision of this reform, or are we going to continue with the Keusote area in this way like we have already started? And these are the objectives of cooperation. So, knowledge-based healthcare management and regional welfare work. And we have a regional welfare plan. It's made together. And then we made our own municipality welfare plan. So what we decided that are important at the regional level, then in this municipal plan, we make it happen. We decided what we do at the municipality level. And then we have a special welfare plan for children and young people. And there are a lot of issues that needs to be done together. And then we are building family centers. And that is something that we are doing also at the national level. And then what I say, the development of mental health services for children and young people are one of the key points. And that is what I believe is something that we need to really look into in the future. And this is the meeting structure. So it's about the same than with the Kuuma regions. We can meet face by face, but now we are meeting in teams. And we hold meeting approximately once a month. The chairperson is elected, and now I'm working as a chairperson for now on, but that can also, we can decide to change if we want to. So we have shared online platforms for working, and we are reporting our work to municipality leaders and managers. And thank you. So this presentation was more practical, and I got into the details, but you can see how is it what we do in a real field. And I think it was a good combination with Mika's performance, because Mika was telling how wide the cooperation if you see it as one municipality perspective. But this was more to how do we cooperate in real life. And we would be glad to answer questions, both me and my colleague here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it was interesting. Details are always the most interesting thing. But we do have some questions. And the first question is, why City of Helsinki is not partner in your network?
Well, the City of Helsinki is, of course, our partner, and the capital area is our partner. But sometimes I must say that it's easier to work with the municipalities that are at the same size than you are. And of course, there are the leaders, they have decided that we work more closely with the Kuuma region, which is located around the capital area. But in some projects, of course, we are working together with the capital area, and it's important. But sometimes if you don't connect with the municipalities around the capital area, you might lose something in the competition.
Maybe it's so that we need help. It doesn't need us.
Okay, thank you very much. How is organized the cooperation between secondary schools and especially for like this vocational schools, the cooperation of different school systems in Kuuma region?
A good question. When we meet with the education leaders, we have some meetings together with also the leaders of the vocational schools. So we work closely for them. And like now there is a new reform in Finland going on. And and we have create a new group. So all the members that do in some forms of education, vocational schools or schools for disabled children. So we are connected and we meet each other.
Okay, another question which is very specific. Which is the jurisdictional form of family centers you mentioned in your presentation?
Those are meeting place for families that are built together with social and health services. So they kind of gather together the services that are designed for the families. So the families will get their services in one place.
But what is this jurisdictional form, I guess, is the question.
They run from the Keusote, from the social and health services, but we can put also the services what the municipalities offer together in them. But the Keusote, so the social health services is in charge of that development.
Fantastic. And another question, on what basis are contributions to the budget distributed among local governments, equally by size or some otherwise?
By size.
Okay. Always some municipalities benefit more than others from the cooperation. Do you have had any disagreements between municipalities because of that? Some do have more benefits, some have less, and some are more eager to cooperate than others.
Well, that is something that needs to be discussed and say it aloud if some partner is just trying to improve their own best. So what I believe that you need to have a certain goals and aims for the cooperation, and that need to be said and well understood with all the partners. In that way, I think we find the solutions, and it's more so that no one is not just driving her own interest. But of course, there are moments when you need to have a bit harder discussion. And of course, sometimes we are not, we don't agree, and then we vote.
Well, that always happens. And the final question is also tied to this previous one. We hear often that the bigger and stronger municipalities don't really have anything to win in the cooperation. You brought into discussion also Helsinki. What to do to motivate the bigger and stronger municipalities to cooperate with the smaller and I don't want to use the word weaker, but smaller municipalities? So how to organize this kind of cooperation?
Yeah, but I think that because we have this Kuuma region, and in that way we have a voice, a bigger voice together. So in that way, the capital area kind of have the discussions with the Kuuma region. So we are well known of being together as a Kuuma region. So it doesn't have to be the small municipality kind of against the big one, but because we are quite big together, so we make our voice through the Kuuma region.
But with that, I would like to thank you and say a good day to you in Finland, and hopefully we can travel to you and you to us soon again, and hopefully those problems we have nowadays will disappear soon. But thank you very much. It was very interesting, and looking forward to visiting Kuuma region soon. Thank you.